Hello, friends. How you doing this morning? I'm doing something in this interview that I don't think I've really done today, and that is I'm kind of jumping into the middle of an idea or conversation between two titans in the industry. On one hand, we have Biggerpockets that is talking about only buy below 50K houses, and we have someone that I've been watching, respect, and admire quite heavily, named Meet Kevin, who just did an interview, or I'm sorry, did I guess a YouTube video on why he says never buy below 50K houses, and gives his five plus a bonus reason. And as someone who has been a buy and hold investor, someone who has bought plenty of properties below 50K, who's bought plenty of properties above 50K, I frankly think the word never is wrong in both opinions. And to go against Biggerpockets and Meet Kevin is potentially career ending, right? I don't know what it is, but I'm sure Biggerpockets has had hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and Meet Kevin has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And they get more views in an hour than I get in a week, right? So this is potentially a very stupid video, but I felt so passionate after watching Meet Kevin's video that I just had to get some thoughts, and hopefully hopefully it shows the respect I have for both those channels. But I just want to give my opinion, because I'm not attacking the individual or the idea. It's really that word never that bothers me, because I think that's the dangerous thing. I think there's lots of reasons why you should buy properties below 50K. I think there's lots of markets across the US that under 50K houses are wonderful investments. I do think there's parts of the country that 50K investments are ridiculous because they're probably fire burned and torn, or sheds or shoe boxes or whatever. So there's a couple of things. So first off, without naming names, because I want to stay away from that, and just say, when you come into a conversation like this, if you live where I live, right, in the Bay Area of California, I call it the California bias, right? Our median price today is over 800K or whatever it is. It's super ridiculous, right? It doesn't make sense for rentals. And that's why I live here, but I don't invest here, because it doesn't make sense. I also think we need to appreciate that when we're putting out channels like this, that we need to appreciate that you can make solid rental investments on houses under 100K and houses under 50K. I don't think you should ever come in with this arrogance and bias that you have to go after 500K houses or anything of that nature. I suspect, I don't know this to be true, but there are probably a lot more houses priced below 50K than there are above 500K, just on a raw quantity basis. I don't know that to be true. I certainly believe it's true below 100K, but I don't know about 50K. 50K may be too low. But I thought I would talk about the 5 items that I noted down in Meet Kevin's video, just to give you my thoughts. The first one was appreciation. And basically the talk track is, hey, if you own 5 50K houses and it goes up 10%, you make 25K. Or if you own 5 500K houses, you get whatever it is, 250K, right? The bigger number. You can't argue with the math. The math is right. Where I think is missing is, I think it's a lot easier to secure 5 50K houses if that's where you live and you invest. I think it's faster. And I just think the down payment requirements and the length of time and all of those things make it easier, than getting $2.5 million worth of 500K houses. The other thing that doesn't go unsaid there that I think needs to be discussed is there are markets, i.e. California, the Bay Area, that has much higher appreciation and frankly swings, right? It goes up really fast and comes down, and it goes back up and it comes down. And there are parts of the countries that's kind of, tricking along like inflation. And I think that was missed, right? In general, there are parts of the country where the appreciation has historically been relatively flat. Although, talking to investors across the country, those markets are picking up recently. The opportunity zones and just the investments in more plants and manufacturing, which is all good for the U.S., is bringing jobs, and jobs mean more housing and appreciation. And these once quiet areas are picking up, and we should respect that, right? So I think average appreciation rates was missed, and I think there maybe have been a little bit of arrogance around the 50K versus 500K areas. I speak to lots of people where I live, and unbeknownst to them, there's a bias, right? We're so used to these 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 50, 60-year-old houses going for $1 million that we don't understand that if you go to another state or city, we could buy 10 of them for that price. And that's a bias we need to get rid of. That's our problem and no one else's. Number 2 was more tenants or tenants suck. I'm sure that was said tongue in cheek. But the point of that is real estate investing and landlording is absolutely a people business. And the more properties you have, the more people you have. The way the talk track went in the video, it seemed like he was promoting self-management. As someone who has 175 tenants, I can tell you since day one, having a single tenant, I've never self-managed. I've invested out of the area. So I have property managers. I've purchased all of my deals, including property management cost. Yes, that costs me, call it $100 a month, but it removes much of the trouble and headaches that I got the feeling in the video. And yeah, it makes the deal harder. You got to buy better. You got to put more down. You got to be conservative. All of those factors are true. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a buy and hold landlord, more tenants is good. You just got to buy right. Have a property manager and remove the headaches where you can. Number 3 was the one that really set me off. And this one was around not renovating cheap properties. There was an example of a bathroom and talk of a kitchen. And then what really got me was this GFI comment. If you're going to buy a cheap property, and again, I have probably bought 30 properties under 50 grand. So I say this with experience. If you're not doing the right remodels and repairs and safety items to a house because of the price, you're an idiot. Stop it, right? You are putting families at risk. So get off your tight wallet and do the right thing every freaking time. That one comment is what made me do this video and potentially puts me at risk from getting attacked from Biggerpockets and Meet Kevin, which I certainly don't look forward to. But that's the idea. And the other thing is, there are lots of ways to remodel a kitchen or remodel a bathroom, right? Maybe the kitchen cabinets are okay. They're the old wood. They just look ugly. So strip the door, strip it down, spray paint it. No one says you have to take the old cabinets off the wall and put in new cabinets and all of that. You have to put in travertine tile. And there are lots of ways that you can really clean up a property. And again, what I really believe is your lack of repairs or even thinking of repairs in a 50K house or below says more about you than it says about your tenants and the property. So take that for what it's worth. That safety comment really got on my nerves. Not desirable or no growth. I kind of get the logic. I think if you look historically speaking, that's probably true. I do believe, because I'm an active real estate buy and hold investor that looks across the country and speaks to people across the country, that I think some of that is changing. There are sleepy areas of the country that are getting huge investments from large corporations of manufacturing and jobs. And I think if you look out 4 to 5 years, there are some markets that have been really flat and maybe quote unquote dying, i.e. losing population, that are turning around. And if you can invest in a turnaround and be early, you are going to win big time. So I think blindly looking at historical metrics and all of that and just deeming everything below 50K markets as bad is unwise. And potentially you could look at missing the mark. Now, if there's a city that's half the size it used to be and all the housing stock is there, yeah, you're going to have vacancies and bad tenants and no jobs and all of that. But there are parts of the country now that are taking off. And just look at where plants are being put, manufacturing plants and investments. And it's I think it's a changing world for many of the large parts of the city in the central U.S. and the South. So I think there's something there. And then the fifth one is actually one I agree with. And again, he puts out comments like financing sucks for 50K and below houses. And while I wouldn't use that language, I would say that, yeah, there are lots of financial institutions because of Dodd-Frank that won't do sub 50K loans. Just won't happen, right? They're only allowed to charge fees, 2% of loan balance and these other things. And it's not financially viable for them to do that. That's absolutely true. I think the first banking institution or lending institution or insurance company or whatever they are that creates real estate loans for sub 50K is going to have a huge head start, right? I suspect these can't be banks because of the federal regulation, but shoot, if 123 Loan Me, or I'm just making these names up, Loan Me created a package for sub 50K loans that charged 8% interest amortized for 30 years, your business would explode because there are so many parts of the country. So I do think financing sucks. I think financing is hard, although I would say it points at an opportunity and not a reason to cut them off. So in the end, that's interesting. And there was a nail in the coffin about the writer of the Biggerpockets article talking about losing money on all his investments, and then back and forth. Here's the deal. It's the word never that I have a problem with. I have a problem with never paying above 50K, and I have a problem with never buying below 50K, because I have done both and done both very successfully. I think you need to know your numbers. You need to know your market. You need to know what you're investing for. Don't mix appreciation with cash flow. You just confuse yourself when you do that. I think you need to do your homework. You need to find a market that makes sense. You need to always do the safety items. Come on, let's be better people than that. And know what you're investing for. If you're investing for cash flow and get zero appreciation, but it cash flows like a monster, you win, right? Let's not be confused. Yes, California goes up and down. And if you're betting for appreciation, buy something else. You never buy for appreciation and buy for cash flow. One of those is the winner and one of those is not. So know what you're doing. So I created this video for me. I'm not sure I'm going to publish it, because I don't want two titans of the industry, Biggerpockets and Meet Kevin, attacking me. But again, this topic bugged me and I felt like I had to record something. So have a great day. Take care. Again, not sure if I'm going to publish this or not. Thanks.